lovers, the moon is a thing of beauty. But to this man it is a deadly curse. When the moon is full, this miserable wretch turns into a hairy, snarling half-man, half-beast. Prowls the night, his fangs thirsty for human blood. He is a werewolf.
Hello and welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast, the show where we talk about Marvel's number one lycanthrope, Jack Russell, a.k.a. the Werewolf, a.k.a. the Beast, a.k.a. the Shaggy One, a.k.a. Russell Jackson. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. We are joined today by a friend of the pod, Andrew Shaw. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, how you going, everyone?
I'm doing splendid. It's great to talk to you again.
As always.
I just feel like I need to put this out there that last baseball season, I bought you a Pickles hat, and you picked one out, and I bought it, and it sat on my speakers for literally a year. And it was like that feeling like you need to visit your grandma in the nursing home or something like that, or you need to go to confession, and it's just like gnawing at you in the back of your mind. I would take it and put like a special adjustment on the vacuum cleaner and vacuum the dust off of it to keep it pristine. And after I vacuumed it like 4 times, like Renee's like, I'm going to go mail it. Just send me his fucking address. So she mailed it yesterday. Along with your Werewolf by Night buttons and some buttons for Ray of Into the Night. So huge weight off of my back. So that's why I'm shirtless and on ayahuasca right now, because I'm starting a new chapter in my life, and I've shaved my head, obviously.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. But it's great to have you back as well. And we've joked before, right, that you often sip some coffee because you're in Australia, so you're in a different time zone than we are. So we're usually having cocktails, and you don't enjoy cocktails, but you love coffee, so you're having coffee out on your back patio. So we get some Savage Land kind of beasts sometimes in the mix.
Yeah, I can't wait for those prehistoric birds to make noise again.
They're always swooping down trying to get my dog. That's the problem.
Yeah, you got to keep that. Yeah, it's either nets or domes. You got to do something to keep the dog safe.
So, Andrew, did you happen to listen to our episode where we had Joe Keating on, and we talked about the prolific letter writer to Image of the 2000s named Andrew J. Shaw?
I haven't listened to the episode, but I know that man or that name very well, because that is my middle initial too.
Yeah.
And I actually, the Mark Waid Daredevil run that was out a few years ago, that was the real, went back to the real good swashbuckling fun run that he had. He wrote in to an early issue and said how much he hated the lightness of the book.
Of course.
And so I finally had enough, and I actually have a letter in, I think it's issue either 7 or 8 in that run, pretty much calling him out. I never heard back. But I have put it out there before that I have said that I will fight him at a convention if they want to.
Oh yeah, well, his letters became, I would say legendary, but he's such a dick. I would say infamous, and that he just, his criticisms were so idiotic, and he was just so pompous. But I did kind of like to read them, especially in Joe's book Shudder, because I think Joe always had really good comebacks. But yeah, we mentioned that we know an Andrew J. Shaw that's, from the 616 universe, who is actually a good guy and not this evil man. Just wanted to put that to rest.
I appreciate you saying that, Jacob, because I would hate people to think that we'd have that guy on the show.
Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit.
It's funny. I've known Andrew a long time, so I know who this guy is, and I know that Andrew has made sure people know when they meet him in the comics community that he is not he.
Yes.
Him.
There was a run where he'd pop up in books, and I'd get tweets of, "Hey, your letter's in this book." I'm like, that's not me. And like everything was so much of it was so backhanded compliment too. Like he'd be like, this was good and this was shit, and but the shit is getting better. Is like a lot of his comments were like. Yeah, and it used to drive me insane. And I think it's that, and I think I've got a letter in a Moon Knight book as well at one point, and that's about it. But it's just, I've never heard, no one's ever been able to track down who he is. And it's one of those things. I reckon I need to make a documentary about it to track this guy down.
Yeah.
It's Alan Moore.
It is.
Pen name.
No, I think there's an article that that website Sketched, which is I think a podcast host of Off Panel. His name's David Harper, and he wrote an article about it, like of trying to find him. And I think you're mentioned in that article, if I'm correct. Yeah,
that was a few years ago. Yeah, I do remember that. He contacted me on Twitter, sort of said, "Oh, hey, are you this guy?" And I went, "No."
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to clarify, get that out there, and we're done with it. We're never mentioning him again.
That's it.
Did he find him?
No, he never found him.
Okay.
No, the guy's a ghost.
So he doesn't even leave like a city when he writes in?
No, nothing. He doesn't leave a thing. No. I reckon he's just a bunch of Marvel writers. I reckon or a bunch of comic writers who work together, and it's like a pseudonym. They all, it's the Alan Smithy of the comics industry, and they all write in for when they hate a book, and they go, "All right, we'll just use this name for it."
That would actually be pretty funny.
That would be pretty.
That would be cool.
We also get mail too. You can email us, or you can call us and leave us a voicemail we can play on the show. Our voicemail is 971-220-5865, or our mnemonic is 971-220-JUNK. And you can call in and leave a message. And I just wanted to point out also that on the last episode, I got called out on Twitter. Someone messaged us, me, and said, "Hey, I was really bummed to hear on your newest episode that you were doing this like fat phobic, fat shaming thing." And I just said, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm sure it was me. If somebody's going to be an asshole, it's me. And they said, "Oh, when you were saying like America's not a Christian nation, despite what people think it is. If you go and ask any fat idiot at Walmart, they'll think it is." And he said that kind of bummed me out to hear that, because I like your show, and that was disappointing. So I told him, "Hey, I'm a work in progress. I appreciate you calling it out. I'm always willing to be better." So thanks for doing that. He also said, by the way, I don't know how into like the Satanic Temple you guys are. You guys are talking about it on the last episode as well. And they actually have kind of a dodgy past with, they hired Alex Jones as attorney, and some other have some anti-Semitic stuff if you dig deep around. And some chapters have left and revolt from the church because of some bad decisions they've made or things they disagree with, because they don't feel like they are doing the social justice work that the church they believe should. So again, I was just saying I thought that the Satanic Temple was cool based on the First Amendment stuff that they do and the activism. So I'm not an expert on the church. I don't purport to be, and I'm not an anti-Semite. And I'm an asshole though, but I'm not an anti-Semite. So not always the same.
Well done, my friend.
Yep, first public apology. There we go. So, but call in if you hear that. That would have been a great call. Was my point. Was like you could have called in and said, "Hey guys, dig the show. Don't dig when you're assholes," and we would have played it. So but you let us know how you let us know.
No, I always appreciate that. Yeah,
I mean, someone might have pointed out to us that why do you have Pack Brothers and Pack Sisters on Patreon? Because some people are non-binary, and I was like, you're right. I don't know where to start with that, though, so I'm going to have to chew on that for a while. I forgot to mention that to Jacob.
Oh, yeah, you didn't mention that to me at all.
No, this is recent.
Okay.
So, something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pack members, maybe just keep it non-gender specific. It doesn't need to be specific.
No, it doesn't really. I mean, yeah, I don't care. That'd be great. Pack members works for me.
Yeah. So call us at 971-220-5865, 971-220-JUNK, and give us your opinion.
Gentlemen, hello. This is Jared Savitas. I've got a recommendation or two for you here. Recently, you guys talked about maybe checking out some Predator comics. If I had one suggestion you should check out, it is the Tarzan versus Predator at the Earth's Core series from Dark Horse Comics. From 1996, it is written by Walter Simonson, drawn by Lee Weeks. It's awesome. Tarzan faces off against predators in Pellucidar. Who doesn't love a Lost World? and so much more that happens. 4 issues, good times. Check it out for sure. Also, did you guys ever see, going on with your love of Spider-Woman, who doesn't love Jessica Drew, did you ever see the Spider-Woman motion comic, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the one by Bendis and Maleev? It used to be on, I believe it was on Netflix or something for a long time. Now I don't seem to find it anywhere but Daily Motion. But they put out a hardcover in, I want to say, 2010 that collected all 7 issues. It's almost a pocket-sized edition. It's a smaller hardcover. But it also came with a DVD of the motion comic. And the cool thing is the motion comic came first, and then they did the comic series, and they had to redraw some sequences because it didn't translate well from one format to another. So that's kind of a cool little thing to check out, I guess. Anyways, I don't know. I'm rambling too much. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
I was intrigued by that Tarzan book that's written by Simonson, Lee Weeks. I mean, there's nothing I don't like in that whole description.
No, that sounds amazing. Thank you, Jared. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
I do remember that motion comic, though.
I don't.
There were a few of them.
Yes, there was. There was a few of them. There was
There's a Black Panther one, I think, as well.
Yep, the Black Panther one was cool.
John Romita Jr. Yeah.
And there was a really good one that was I want to say Nick Fury or I can't remember what the other one was. There was a good Captain America one as well. That was this might actually be too old. This is like Flash based when Marvel was playing with the Flash motion comics. So it's pretty old, like 2004. But there's a great Captain America one that was all Flash animation. But yeah, I'd love to check out that Spider-Woman stuff. I mean, obviously, whenever Bendis gets to write Spider-Woman, it's a love letter. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah. Thanks, Jared. Appreciate the mail. When you're as lonely as I am, even circulars and unsolicited ads are welcome things in your mailbox.
It's just nice to get something in the mail,
It's just
right?
nice to, yeah. And you have the TV on. It's just nice to have, it feels like somebody else is in the house.
You need to let those missionaries leave every now and then, though.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's why I got the heavy chains. All right. I am ready to talk about part 2 of this story here. Andrew, so you've read 29, I'm sure, many times.
Several times.
You're a fan of the whole Moon Knight run. So
yes.
Just a brief recap for you. What were your impressions of the last issue that we talked about?
Oh, I mean, it's this is the part of the Moon Knight. This is my favorite run of Moon Knight, the 1 to 30 of the Sienkiewicz run there. The art is just incredible. I think I did an episode with Ray a little while ago where we talked about number 26, which is, it's called Hit It. And it's my favorite single issue of Moon Knight of all time. And when you sort of get to this sort of era, and, I can't remember if we spoke about it last time when I was on, but like werewolves are my monster. When you're a kid, I think everyone sort of chooses not so much a universal monster, but one of those sort of archetypes, and werewolves were always mine. And so anything with a werewolf on the cover would catch my eye no matter what. And they're just fun issues. It's a fun little story with with trying to raise Satan, and the guy whose name is what's his name off the top of Belial?
Skylar Belial, yeah.
Yes, which is just gives me basket case flashbacks.
Thank you. Glad I have a fellow basket case fan on the show.
Oh, yes.
After we finished the last episode, Jacob, I was reflecting on how much I loved it. Thanks a couple of days, still kind of high on it. And I was wondering to myself before I started reviewing 30 for this episode, was Jack... I was thinking to myself, puttering around, washing dishes, how cool that, Jack met Moon Knight in his title. They were enemies at first, and then teaming up against the committee in that 2-part storyline way back in the day. And then when Jack is being hounded across the planet by this cult, he's on the run, and he thinks, where I can go? I know Moon Knight's been seen in New York City. That guy can help me. I mean, he does leave in that note, you kind of owe me a favor. So show up out at these crossroads. But it almost, I couldn't tell, once I started building it up as this buddy, Lethal Weapon buddy comedy thing, or 48 Hours, I was like, well, I don't know if that was more of like him of convenience, being like, I'm in New York because I'm running. I'm on a train that just went to New York, and I know Moon Knight's here. I'll just give this to the cops. I'm sure they can find him, and he can tie me up. Like, I was realizing, like, maybe it's a little more minimal than it was in my mind, where he's like reaching out to this guy as a desperate, like, you can help me with this cult that I can't shake for some reason. You know what I mean?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much goodwill is left for poor Buck. I think Buck has been hurt literally too many times by Jack for him to lean on Buck anymore. So yeah, and Jack, because of his affliction, he doesn't have a ton of friends. He only his peers are other kind of superpowered people that he fights with. And so I think he remembers, maybe in his bestial form, that Moon Knight kind of, they kind of teamed up at the end of his appearance in Werewolf by Night. So I think that he would think of Moon Knight as an ally.
Andrew, thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's one of those. It's not so much like the enemy of my enemy, but having him help out the beast at the end of that Werewolf by Night issue. I'm sure that it's like a dog would be as well, where if you help out a dog, they're less likely to attack you more than anything. So it's sort of probably more of an animal instinct more than anything else.
Yeah. I like that.
We gushed about how much we love the last cover and how iconic it is in modern comics art. This one's, to me, this number 30 is not quite as striking, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's another black solid background, and we have a 666 symbol, much like the cult has on their pointed asinine hats, but it's like blood dripping down. And in the foreground of that, we have Moon Knight and Jack as the Beast charging each other, like ready to collide, like playing a game of chicken. What do you think? I totally dig this one. It's hard to follow the Beatles. I feel bad for that act.
Yeah, it is, and I kind of felt like that. Maybe throughout the whole issue in a way, like especially with this cover. Like, I went and looked, and I'm just like, okay, Sienkiewicz, did he have a lot of shit on his plate right now? Because it seems like he was able to spend a lot of time on issue 29, like a lot of time thinking about the medium, a lot of time studying what he wanted to do, references. And this cover and this issue in general, I feel like is great. And any other artist, it would be their greatest issue of all time. But I do feel like this cover is about maybe 15% less than 29 was. But just to answer the question, no, Sienkiewicz was not doing anything else at this time. He'll start doing the covers for Dazzler soon, but. No. This is his only book for a couple months at this time period. Still a great cover.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The only reason I bring it up is just.
No, you're right.
It's his like you said, any other artist, I wouldn't even bring it up. But it's just like he is so good, and he's firing on all cylinders right now. So.
Andrew, I wanted to ask you, so as someone who, I've read the whole Moon Knight run, just not of this particular run, not recently, but I think I mentioned it last episode, and I feel like this is when Bill is really hitting his stride. Like, to compare the art from issue 29 to the art with Moon Knight 1, I think it's pretty different, right?
Yeah.
Like Bill is doing so much more every month with this title.
Yeah, definitely. And it's sort of like the issue I mentioned before, number 26, and you get to, and not to sort of jump too far ahead, but there's a letter in the back of this book in issue number 30 where it's Bill Sienkiewicz saying that 26 was the highest he could reach with Moon Knight. It was some of the best work he's ever done. So he stepped away from the book after this.
Yeah,
because he was, and I'm not sure if your listeners have read number 26, but it's got, there's Led Zeppelin in it. The art is incredible, like Louis Armstrong. There's all these beautiful. It's almost a musical episode. Like, a couple of the pages have musical notes floating through them, and it's some of the best artwork I've ever seen in a comic book. And I think for him, he was getting towards this. He was like, I think I've peaked, and anything I do from now on is probably not going to be as good as I actually want it to be. So,
wow.
You know, the old quit while you're ahead.
Kind of glad he didn't quit, though, because he does have some pretty amazing things coming up. But yeah, even just when I was looking back and just kind of looking at the cover of Moon Knight 1 from this run, and even the art in there, and it's like we were saying last episode, it's much more Neil Adams than Bill Sienkiewicz in a lot of ways. Like, but the strides that he took, the leaps of artistry that he took from number 1 to number 29 are incredible.
Oh yeah, it's kind of why he's my all-time favorite artist too. I mean, you look at the different art styles he has from that Neil Adams style that he sort of started with to, I'm not sure if either of you follow him on Facebook, but when he does the portraits of people after they've passed away, and like his artwork with so much line work and everything, it's just beautiful. Like his artwork is one of those holy grail sort of, I'd love to get a piece of his artwork, but I'd have to sell my house to get it at this point.
Yeah. I'd love one of those covers of his New Mutants Demon Bear run, of course. But yeah, that's as much of as a house. So yeah.
So Andrew, you said that your favorite Moon Knight run is 1 through 30 of this volume.
Yeah.
What makes you cut it off before the run ends? Because it ends like at 38 or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the whole run, like this whole run of Moon Knight is great, but I think there's something about having Doug Munch and Bill Sienkiewicz for that whole thing, and the art. That's the art. It's the storytelling. Moon Knight was a little bit more serious then. He wasn't as much of, he sort of becomes, especially when you get to like the Mark Spector Moon Knight run, he becomes a bit of a goofy character. They push him in weird ways. They try and, shoehorn in, and, it was the 90s, so it was Spider-Man and Ghost Rider, and the story and the art sort of suffered after that. And like, I do like a lot of the other runs, but this is just sort of, I think it's the best of Moon Knight, these 30 issues. I think it's the absolute best that it gets.
What happened after issue 30 that made you not include the final 8 issues or whatever?
I think it's just the art. I think it's just Sienkiewicz, really.
Because Sienkiewicz leaves after this issue.
Yeah,
correct?
He's done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He stuck around a few more issues. Okay,
no, he's done.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's it. That was for me. It's the Munch Sienkiewicz Moon Knight is, up there in my top 5 comic runs of all time for me.
Oh, okay. No, now I get it.
Yeah.
Cool. So I thought this is also neat that I'm looking at a scan here. I have a copy to bind, but that they again had these inside cover pieces. That's what has happened, and it recaps the last issue. That would normally be a Hubba Bubba ad. So I wonder how they convinced the editors to not sell another ad.
So Matt, when I was looking at Grand Comics database for these issues, it lists that title page and lists an author as Denny O'Neil. I think there's a question mark there, but yeah. So I think that's confirmation that this is an editorial decision and not Doug and Bill.
Well, that would make sense then. Not a lot of convincing to do.
No. Okay. Well, let's go on to the opening page.
Please.
So, the title of our story is The Moonwraith, 3 Sixes, and a Beast. And our cast of creators, we have Doug Mensch, scripter, Bill Sienkiewicz, artist. We have 3 letterers for some reason. We got Joe Rosen does pages 1 through 14. Michael Higgins does pages 15 through 21. And Rick Parker handles pages 22 through 28. I don't really understand why. It's a little weird, at least for them to all be credited. Like I've seen on GCD how, maybe Artie Simek will be credited for one issue, but they'll say, oh, someone else came in and filled in there. But to actually get credits on the page for all 3 is interesting, even though I think by the 80s, they were much more strict about making sure everyone got real credit on the page for their work. But still a little weird.
Maybe this issue is haunted.
Maybe. It sure seems like it might be. Some of the 666 working there. So we got Christy Shield, colorist, Denny O'Neil, editor, and Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. So it's a full-page illustration of the Beast that's pretty cool. It's not my favorite depiction of Jack in the issue. I don't know what it is about it. I like it. I feel like it's really stylized. But honestly, it might not be stylized enough for me. I see more of that kind of Fox non-wolf things in this than I did in some of his more stylized drawings from issue 29. Again, this is still great. Any other artist, this would be the greatest thing they'd ever done. But like you said, Matt, I mean, I feel like last issue was Sgt. Pepper. And it's like most bands, if they do that, like, where do you go? And Sienkiewicz has so much more to do. But yeah, I just, this didn't blow me away as much as like maybe the opening page of last issue, which was just a rail yard. So again, so weird, but it's pretty cool. And the opening narration reads, "Second night, the moon rose full again, killing the human side of me called Jack Russell. As usual, the transformation threw me for a huge loop, filling my brain with murk. And it wasn't until I snarled and slavered on the carpet that I realized what had happened. I changed to a werewolf by night in Moon Knight's guest room." So yeah, we're starting right as we left off with last issue. What'd you guys think of this opening page? I think
you, if you're going to turn into a werewolf in someone's guest room, it's going to really cost you a few Airbnb fees, to be honest. You've got to clean the carpet, get rid of all the shed hair everywhere.
There's a lot of drool.
That's going to ding his rating, yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but where it says Beast, is that the logo for when Beast had his solo comic?
It so looks like that.
Weird,
does,
right? The furry
really
letters.
Does.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Weird.
Maybe that's why we've got 3 letterers, because they were just like, maybe they were all rushed and they were like, quick, you do this, you do this, you do this, and just fill in where you can.
And so, just to be clear, the Moonwraith 3 Sixes and a Beast, that was that Christian alternative band in the late 90s, right? That had that cover of The Laws, There She Goes, and a female singer.
Arms wide open. Yeah,
they played a lot with Jars of Clay, I think. Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm sorry. That's Sixpence None the Richer. I apologize.
Yeah.
This is actually a better name.
It is a much better name.
For me, I kind of feel what you're feeling, Jacob, of like this is like the follow-up to a monster hit. This is Son of Schmilson, and there's going to be some unevenness in here or whatever, but I don't know, man. I do love this splash page. The lighting in particular, the way he played with the light here in this, it looks very universal. Like when you see those promo stills of like Lon Chaney for the Wolfman, where it's just like these dramatic underlighting, and it's just like that would scare just that photo would have scared the shit out of somebody in 1941. I still love it. And I love that claw coming out too, and the way he renders the claws and all the line work on the hands.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I still respect you. So we kind of jump back like 30 seconds essentially in the story here, and because we kind of saw this, but this is all from Jack's perspective on the next page. So we see Moon Knight shoving Marlene and saying, "Hey, get Samuels, Annetta, and Frenchie in the basement. Don't come up until I tell you." And I love that he's looking over his shoulder confidently, saying, no matter what happens up here. And then in the background behind, or in front of him, the werewolf is jumping, bounding at him. And Moon Knight's so cool that he's completely aware of this and just throws up an elbow right in the werewolf's face and finishes saying, "And don't come out until I say it's safe." Just smashing the werewolf into some, bedside table. And he's completely unrattled, I love Moon Knight. And so the Beast's getting up, he's growling, low guttural growl, collecting himself. And Moon Knight says, "Hey, listen to me, Russell. I'm not your enemy. I'm trying to protect you from Belial and his Satanists. Remember them? The guys in the black robes and funny hats? The ones who want to pass you off as the beast of the apocalypse?" So yeah, he's just kind of, amusing himself like we all would in this bizarre situation as your friend is getting ready to try and tear your throat out.
We've all been there.
Yeah. A lot of great action in this issue.
Man, for me, it's that first panel with the clawed hand silhouette in the foreground. And just how Moon Knight and Marlene are rendered, like I made a note being like, that might be my favorite panel of the issue. Weirdly enough, there was something so perfect about it, about the composition, about the rendering of Moon Knight and Marlene. Yeah, I fucking love it.
Yeah, and I love all the solid backgrounds here. We talk about this a lot. Sienkiewicz will put like a table and a lamp, but not like go nuts making things busy, because you are focused on what is important here, which is movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get lost in his panels. You know exactly what's going on, which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on to the next page. This is a pretty cool fight page. Like, I really like that in the first panel, I like how Jack is slashing Moon Knight right out of the panel into the next one. And then, but in that next panel, we see that they go through the nearby window, and I actually liked Jack's narration on this page. It says, "I remembered nothing but the pain of change and the sweet taste of blood. So I smashed the strange black and white ghost out of my way and bolted in dark search of that taste." That was another like Doug Mensch thing that I'm like, that's fucking cool. I'm so happy to read Doug.
Yeah, and big glass.
Yeah, big glass. So let's drink to that, gentlemen.
Am I reading that first panel right? Is that basically Moon Knight doing like a Western dance slide to the side? Like, he would have had his entire chest torn open, but he anticipated that, so he just kind of got nicked on the arm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I read it too, for sure. Every panel on this is really cool. I like the fluidity of the motion. I like what it conveys from panel to panel, how they fall out the window. Then we see them almost in silhouette running away. We see them from behind. Moon Knight turns around, or Moon Knight overtakes Jack, jumps on his back, punches him in the back of the head, but then Jack throws Moon Knight over him. And I love the colors. I love the color on that bottom panel that is a solid red background with the werewolf all in black. And I don't know. I felt like this was a really, really strong page in this issue.
The way he draws Jack as well, it gives me real, like the howling, the werewolves in the howling that are the big, huge ears and everything. It looks exactly a lot like that, which is really cool. The design is it's such a different design than the way you sort of see him a lot of the time.
And it's someone pointed out, Andrew, that we talk about a werewolf movie on our bonus episode every week, and last week's was The Howling. So they're like, wow, was that an intentional pairing, or was that just a happy accident? It was completely a happy accident, but yeah, it was wild that was the same week, because they are very similar builds.
Yeah,
for sure.
Those giant ears and really long snouts, and yeah.
I'm a huge fan of them. So yeah, we appreciate the big glass there. I just like that, again, he's jumping back to this thing we talked about at the end of the last episode, where the werewolf, the sun comes up and he turns back into Jack. And so when he turns back into the werewolf the next day, he's waking up and he's like saying, my belly was full and now I'm hungry. And I have all this energy. I was sated and tired last time. I just blinked, and now I'm hungry and I'm pissed off, and I'm inside a place I don't want to be in. So like, he was talking about that last panel where he's saying, I want the blood slick on my teeth, like to feel the blood on his teeth when he licks his teeth with his tongue, like so visceral. Yeah. And here he is right now, just kind of that same thing, right? The dark search for that taste. I love Minch's language around here. And I love that, Moon Knight is fast and lithe and good enough to jump on and ride the beast like that, punch him in the back of the head with, I'm assuming his gauntlets still have silver in them, or has he completely redone all of his gear so many times that silver, his initial silver, is out of there?
Well, I wonder
I think
that
he's still
too.
got silver.
Yeah, but he talks about later on with his crescent darts that the crescent darts are still silver. So
yeah, I would assume gauntlets would still have them, or
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would assume so as well, Andrew.
I think it depends on how much silver was costing back then too, because he had a lot of money, but silver gauntlets is going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're just silver plated. Let's be honest. And I'm with you, Jacob. That last panel with, it's perfection of the silhouette of the beast claws throwing Moon Knight into that tree trunk. It's just gorgeous with that red stark background and beautiful. So on the next page, Moon Knight's collecting himself after that, and he's saying, well, so much for mercy. He's got a good jump on me now. And the next couple panels here on the top are so cool because the Beast is Naruto running towards wherever he's running to, but he's so into it that he's running across several panels. Like he breaks two gutters. And just the way Sienkiewicz drew him, where it's all you can see is his top fangs down. Like you can't even see because he's so close in the foreground. The perspective. And it's so cool. And Moon Knight's like worried. He's like, well, the way he's running and the direction, he's heading towards a city. That's not good. And the middle row, we get this really kind of jacked up looking werewolf where he kind of looks like that coyote weird, we've seen this before sometimes when people draw the werewolf looking kind of coyote, like he got run over, like roadkill. Like he looks weird. But he's, it's raining, it's pissing rain in the city. And there's a weird little thing here that Minch chooses to get the werewolf up on the roof. And he says, so like any other wolf who doesn't like gaudy puddles, I instinctively sought higher ground. So he climbs up a rain spout. And it says, remaining there half the night, howling into the bleak downpour. And we get this cool, the letter draws this cool, like, "Arr!" and it's going across several panels as we zoom into the rooftop. And then we just see the Beast just crouched down in puddles forming on the roof, just kind of almost in silhouette, baying just kind of forlornly. And he thinks, the neighbors probably thought it was some dog stuck somewhere in the rain, but I know one guy who probably figured it out. And then with this bottom panel, we have Moon Knight just kind of looming in, almost entirely shadow, except for his cowl and cape. And he's right behind the Beast. So the Beast is totally unaware of him. And it says, as for me, it was at first only a tingle, a vague stirring of some bestial sixth sense. But that last panel there, I mean, the whole page is good, but that last panel where the Beast is kind of just looking out of the city in the rain and just kind of being forlorn, and Moon Knight's silently sweeping up behind him, and he's sneaking up on a goddamn werewolf. Like, I mean, he's reading the wind. He's got everything figured out. I love Moon Knight, man.
That you were when we were talking about Sienkiewicz and how much I love his art, it's the way he breaks panels that doesn't wreck anything else on the page, like those, the top four panels there, and even just, we'll get to the next page, but even just that last panel, that I love the way Jack looks in that last panel.
Me too.
I think it looks, it's almost, he's leveled up his savageness, and he's hunched over and probably looking out, and it's just brilliant. It's, and I think a lot of artists must love drawing Moon Knight because a lot of it you can just draw the cape and the cowl and that's it. Like the silhouette just works so much easier for it. So here you go. A lot of black, put some eyes, you're done.
Sienkiewicz has a certain something that's like the French Beauty and the Beast or something like that. Like he has this, like, you can tell his spine goes up in this big curve, and he has this mane that kind of goes out. So he just looks like he has no neck, and he just looks very beast-like. It's fascinating. It's almost more a melding of a human and a dog, like the human flatness of the face with like the curvature of the spine and the hunchiness kind of making up for the snout. It's very strange.
That's a really good observation, Matt. I can definitely see what you mean. I think both of us have within the last year watched Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast, and yeah, I can see the parallel there for sure.
I would be surprised if Sienkiewicz wasn't mentally referencing that at some point when he
for sure
did his design.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, like you said, on this next page, the narration kind of answers your question. That says, then the wind shifted and I smelled him just an instant too late. So we see that Jack's just been up there for a while howling, and then he suddenly smells Moon Knight and turns around, but then Moon Knight just lands a really impressive blow to Jack's jaw, which doesn't really faze him too much because Jack just jumps and slams into Moon Knight near the edge of this roof. The narration says it made me mad, and Moon Knight's like, Russell, no, we're on a roof, Russell, we're going over the edge. And I love that action panel of them, the one that with the red background with the yellow lines coming out of them falling, and it's kind of, we're seeing them from below falling down. And then, I love the final panel, which is Jack kind of holding on to Moon Knight. Moon Knight has a drain pipe that he's holding on to. And it's super cool. Hey, Andrew, I have a quick question for you. Have you been reading the Moon Knight Black, White, and Red that's going on right now?
I have the first issue on my iPad ready to go because I haven't bought any physical comics in a while, but I have a Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I read most of my stuff through there. And it was in last week's batch of books, so I'm really looking forward to it though because the latest series has been really good, the Moon Knight book. So I'm looking forward to Black, White, and Red.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Jed MacKay series is one of the. I don't know though. There's not. I think we've talked about this multiple times on the show. Maybe back when we first saw Moon Knight and the Werewolf by Run. There's not a lot of bad Moon Knight runs, honestly. Like especially the last 3 or 4. The Jeff Lemire's run, and they're all like pretty good. It seems like Moon Knight's not a consistent title that runs every single month for 20 years in a row. And it seems like they really save up these good runs. And but Jed MacKay and who's doing the art on that? Is that Cappuccio, I think?
Yeah.
Sandro Cappuccio that does the I fucking love it. It's really I've really, really enjoyed it.
He has a lot of really good just short runs too. Like there's a lot of there's this series, then there's a couple of little like minis in between. There was I can't remember there's a few like the Fist of Khonshu run, which is about I think it was 4 or 6 issues, and they just it's like someone goes, all right, I'm going to pitch a long series, and they go, well, that will probably work in 6. Here's your 6 issues, go for it. And there's a lot of people changing the law and things like that in there, and there's some really interesting takes on him, which is great.
Yeah, I have I think I have the first 2 issues, the physical issues of the of Black, White, and Red, and it's cool. I like that it's an anthology. There's lots of different artists. There's one I think in the first issue that Chris Bachalo, I think that he draws, and I think it's the weirdest rendering of Moon Knight I've ever seen. Honestly,
that's written by Hickman too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Hickman, and it's a great story. It's really cool, but the art is so stylized that I almost had a hard time figuring out what was going on. I was curious. We'll have to chat after you read it.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw in a third pronunciation. I've always said Bacalo, but
okay.
I'm not a fan of his. I totally appreciate his art and all of its beauty, but I don't. It's not my thing. Like it's totally.
I remember
not my
you
thing.
telling me that. Yeah.
I think he's a better cover artist sometimes than sequential panels. There was a Spider-Man run he did with the Lizard as the villain, and it was a lot of panel breaking. But
Shed wasn't even
that's
dark.
it. And there's so many panels where you're sort of going. It's almost like one of those magic eye paintings where you have to squint your eyes a bit, go cross-eyed, and look north, and then you can see what's going on.
It was like the end of Brand New Day. I found that very frustrating way to end that that imprint thing.
Yeah.
So much I love about this. This is one of those ones I'd pay like $5,000 for the original. I mean that
you only want one panel of it.
Apparently I'm woefully underprepared for this bidding war. That panel where the Beast finally smells him and he whips his head around. That's fucking gold.
Yeah, it is.
And I love. We talked a bit, Andrew, last episode about how Sienkiewicz does this magic with just having the black of under the cowl and just having 2 white dots and how expressive he can make them. Like it's almost like Karl Barks or something like that. How much he can do with those. Like these eyes here where he can tell he just got sacked like a quarterback. His wind's knocked out of him. And he's having this, you can tell there's this instant like, I thought he was a smart enough beast not to throw himself off of a rooftop, and I fucking underestimated him.
Nope.
Like he's just like, God damn, Russell, no!
I know. Yeah. It's so funny.
You can hear it, so you can hear the pain. Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
If it was a different imprint, we could have had that, but it's just, he knows that as soon as he gets tackled, he's just like, yeah, all right. I'm going to dislocate a shoulder here. This is, all right, here we go.
We're going over the edge. Yeah, and I loved like the way, again, we talked a bit last episode about how a lot of people don't care for Sienkiewicz's Werewolf, but we love them and they can F off. The way that he does those feet, right? Those like, it's like a dog leg like that. Those last couple panels there, it's just so cool. He really commits to it, right?
Yeah.
So the next page, we get the result of this, the werewolf's action. Moon Knight had held on to that rain spout as he went over, and then you get the inevitable screws popping out of this brick wall, the puck, 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 as it's all just flying out, and this beautiful wham that is gradiently colored. So the letters go from orange to scarlet to red to purple to magenta or whatever, like. And then we see them in the bottom of the alleyway. It's still just pissing rain, like the movie Seven, and they're both passed out because they probably fell like 3 or 4 stories. And it says the water was hardly deep enough to cushion our fall, so we laid there until dawn. We get a nice little transformation sequence here in the bottom left, 3 squares. Not a lot to say. It's just the beast face down in a puddle. And then he's got kind of Jesus Christ Superstar hair as he's halfway Jack, halfway werewolf, and then he's Jack.
I thought it was very Inigo Montoya from Princess Bride.
Very Inigo Montoya. Totally. And then the last panel, he somehow magically turns into 1972 Jack Russell, complete with mutton chops, which is rad. I was like, yes.
I know, the mutton chops make it.
And then Belial found us, so they're found by Belial because of the tracking device in Jack's scalp. And he says, at last I have the beast and the avenging white angel as well. Soon the fury of the beast shall be unleashed on earth. And this guy's like saying, I, Belial. And so they pick them up and they're carrying them off. And Belial has a vision what's going to happen here. He says they're going to be running wild through the streets of cities and suburbia alike, tainting others with his sharp kiss, even as the master has so tainted him, spreading the disease with fang and claw until hell itself rises to consume the earth. So we went from just like being like a sacrifice or some symbol to start the end of times to, no, I'm going to use him to create a plague of werewolves that overrun the earth and end the world. And maybe, I don't know, Satan will make me one of the kings of hell. I don't know what his plan is.
Very Fulci.
That's how that works, right? Yeah. It's very Fulci.
Satan's usually pretty good. He's good for it.
Yeah, this is another one of those pages that Sienkiewicz's storytelling is just so next level. And yeah, I loved that wham as well. It was so cool. And that's one of those things to where, that's Sienkiewicz, right? That's not Joe Rosen. I mean, I think in something like that, that's such a huge part of the actual blueprint of the page, the actual construction. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's Sienkiewicz.
I think it's Sienkiewicz too. But yeah, so cool. So our next page, I really, really liked. I liked the weird like pop art simplicity of a lot of these panels. So we switch to JFK Airport and we see that all of the members of the conclave. Can we call them a conclave?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's technically right. I kept switching in my notes from calling them like fancy things like a conclave and then just goons. Like, I couldn't decide which way to go for that.
Well, I thought it started off with being the conclave, but then later on we find out that they're each heads of their own covens. So like this was actually a meeting of
different chapters of his network almost. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with conclave for this one. But
yeah, sounds good.
So we see all of them, and so we see all of the members hail a cab and enter the penthouse suite of 666 Fifth Avenue. But it's almost like it's done in such a cool way with a row of nearly identical panels of men hailing a cab and heading into the building. Yet you look and the faces are all different, even though they're all, holding up their hand, hailing a cab. And it's it's so cool. It is. It's like weird pop art or something. And it's and we see the same thing in the next row underneath it. The first panel is 666 Fifth Avenue, and then the rest of the panels are all these men, exiting the taxi and going into the building. And the coloring on these is what makes them really cool because they're all colored different shades.
Yeah.
And God, it's just, that I would just like a long poster that's just those 2 rows.
Yep.
Like that would be so kick-ass.
It would look pretty cool on a wall that just with the same colors as well, straight across like above your fireplace or something. It would look awesome.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah, I would absolutely love it. On the bottom row, we see them all arrive, and a man. It's not Belial, but it's someone saying, "Thank you for making the journey on such a short notice, gentlemen. You will not be disappointed. Now, if you'll be good enough to change here," and then they put on all their stupid hats, And he says, I'll be glad to conduct you to Skylar Belial, the Morning Star himself. Even though it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little haughty to name yourself after, well, that's one of the devil's names, basically, you know, the Morning Star.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a little full of himself.
Yeah.
He's going to get a cease and desist.
Yeah, he is.
So the next page says in the next room, and we have this great panel in the foreground. There's just a bunch of like, it looks like pumpkin teeth, like jack-o'-lantern teeth, but it's all just peaked hats in the foreground in silhouette.
No.
And Belial's standing there with Jack chained up behind him, and he says, "You see before you, fellow followers of the left-handed path, the beast himself, as well as the avenging white angel, both under my subjugation." And sure enough, to the side of him is Moon Knight chained up as well. This is quite a coup, right? Like, this is like such a fluke. I just love that this guy's capitalizing on, like, of course, the great master Satan shines on me and smiles on me, and so I got these two things. Yeah. So he says,
if they've been unconscious since they fell into from the roof,
yeah,
they really need to be in an emergency room, because
that's brain bleed.
You've been unconscious for that long. That's some serious CTE there.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
So we dealt with some hecklers last issue, and they're still here, even in the conclave leaders. Like, yeah, maybe all we see is a kid, Belial, and some geek dressed in a Moon Knight outfit, the kind you rent for Halloween. And this is a running thing that we've mentioned. Our friend Brad said, wow, they must have like the best masks in the M616. Like,
yeah,
everyone's like, that's just a werewolf mask, you know? Who's that guy with a flaming skull mask? I don't know. So,
yeah.
He says, "Trust me for one afternoon longer, and with the fall of darkness you shall have proof each of you leads a coven, and with all of us united under my single banner, Satan's power shall... we won't be united much longer, not unless your so-called proof is good. My coven, for one, is getting tired of your cheap theatrics, Belial." He's like, cheap? Will you consider the darkly miraculous transformation of this youth into the very beast of the apocalypse cheap? And there's a great panel of Jack where he's almost all in shadow, just head sunk low, hands up in chains, manacles. So they say, "I'll believe it when I see it, and see it you shall when the sun dies." And there's this great panel of him. It's almost like cartoonish, where he's like bent over and he's just like ranting and raving like a little old man, like a little potato man. Like, "Tonight is the third and last night of the full moon. We must have a black mass at sunset, and the truth shall be revealed to you all. But even that is not enough. I must give you more. I am Morning Star, and I am worthy of more." Great panel there. The last two panels are my favorite of this whole page.
You're expecting like a yeah afterwards.
See?
He does. Yeah, this is a great page, and I am glad that the naysayers, that the hecklers are still there, because this guy's ridiculous. Like, it wouldn't be as good if just his entire congregation was just following him, and I like that. These guys think for themselves. They're leaders of their own covens.
They're smart cult people.
Yeah, they're smart.
If I was going to call Satan in, I would have done it by now.
Yeah, that's basically what they've been saying, which is so hilarious. So it just continues on the next page. Like, Belial is just fully insane at this point. He's like, and he's just, you know, the second panel, he's like, "Far more than that, we conduct the rites of blood sacrifice. And after the letting of the beast's blood, the very first to undergo a transfusion of supernatural power shall be me." So yeah, like you were saying earlier, Matt, they're now, not only is he going to be a beast to usher in the apocalypse, they're going to do some transfusions and create satanic werewolves. So there you go. He says, "Then as the blood is passed on to others, infecting more and more of our army with the beast's madness, apocalypse shall run rampant through the streets." Love this panel that comes next. It's two guys that just look like the most ordinary schmoes. And one of them's like, "Is he mad or could it work?" And the other guy, "Well, if the lycanthropic state is an affliction of the blood, I suppose it could." But yeah, I feel like these might be the naysayers. Like, these might be the guys that are just like, "I don't know, man."
I love that Mensch is like, there's a constant undertone to this writing where it's all kind of like, I just joined this up for business contacts. I didn't. What the hell is going on?
I put my business card in a bowl and off we went.
the salad bar was really good, so I stayed. But I don't. Yeah,
it's getting weird. Like, could we actually become werewolves?
It's getting really weird. So yeah, they take off, and then I love this too. So they're like, well, what about Moon Knight? Who is he? And the guy's like, well, look for yourself. I already have. And one of the guys just unmasks Mark and is like, never seen him before. Oh, okay, we sacrifice him too.
It reminds me of the. Did you guys ever watch the Justice League cartoon? The really good one, Unlimited and stuff.
Yeah.
There's an episode where all the villains body swap, and Lex Luthor is swapped into the Flash, and he goes, all right, now I'm going to see who the Flash is. He takes the mask off, and he goes, I have absolutely no idea who this is.
Yeah, it's like that. Or it's Matt, you and I have talked about that before, how that whole Ditko thing of you unmask this villain. You're like, well, he's just a normal dude that's not famous. Of course you don't know who he is.
Yeah. We're doing the Urge to Scourge, Andrew, on the bonus show, and I'm going through Scourge appearances. And when Cap does unmask him, he's like, who are you? And he's like, what, do you think I'd be your twin brother? This isn't how the world works. I'm nobody to you.
Yeah. Unmask a guy. It's not Johnny Carson. It's not someone that you just know. Yeah, it's so funny.
Man with two brains.
That's what I want for like the next Scream movie, where it's, they get to the end, they unmask the Ghostface, and it's like, who is this? And it's no one, you haven't seen this person at all in the movie for the whole movie. It's just like, it's just some random, okay, cool.
Yep.
Just a random crazy dude. That's
Griffin.
How it is. Yeah. So then he says, now follow me to the roof. And so they take Moon Knight. And I do like that last panel of the two guys in their peaked hats carrying
the negative space.
Yeah, the negative space in that is really, really cool. It's really well done.
Yeah, I love this. I love that the bickering within the church has continued in the next issue, even though it's like everything's escalated. He somehow talked them all into flying in across the country to meet up for this big event. And they're still like, I think he's full of shit. Yeah. So they're dragging Moon Knight and Jack off to their respective cages, and they're saying, Moon Knight, this guy's heavy enough. You got to have enough blood to go around for everybody. And then Moon Knight has been playing possum. He says, yeah. And right now, every drop of it is boiling, as he kicks one guy on one end and punches the guy in the other. And there's just a bunch of badass action that happens real fast. They're using their tri-blasters, their strange weapons we saw before. They're zapping at him. He's doing a flying kick into two of them. He picks up Jack's unconscious form. He says, Frenchie, you up there? We, Mark, searching the city for you since dawn. I've got Russell. I'll be in the service alley behind 666 Fifth Avenue. Come and get us fast. So that all just was a quick turnaround. He's making a break for it.
Yeah, it's a really quick turnaround, and I sure love that upper panel with the red background of Mark doing a super badass fight move.
Yeah, so cool. This part really had like Big Trouble in Little China vibes to me, like with their inside the church, and love it.
So on the next page, Belial is standing in front of a really cool altar.
Where do you get one of those in like 3 hours notice, by the way?
I don't know, because it looks like you'd need like a giant forklift to lift it up there. I mean, maybe it's not stone. Maybe it's just, fiberglass or something.
No, it looks like teak wood or something like that. But he's bragging, like, and I have all the amenities. Like, yeah dude, where do you get this? This is not import some more or whatever.
Well, it's a Halloween superstore. Those things are open all year sometimes.
Well, tell me where that is and I'll move there.
Yeah.
My son made this in shop class.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going on and on about how the altar will run red with the blood when one of his goons, one of his goons runs in and he's like, Belial, they escaped. And he's like, what? And then just smacks the guy across the face. It's like, fool, the beast still has our tracking bug implanted in his scalp. So it's like, get to the monitor and trace him at once. And so, they go to do that. But then in the sky, they see Moon Knight's helicopter. And so they say, open fire, we'll blast it. And I like Frenchie's like, do not worry, Mark. The shots are not effective at this range. So either radio ahead to the mansion, Frenchie, tell Marlene to have Dr. Lawson there as we arrive. So the doctor that we met last issue is going to be there to hopefully get rid of that tracking chip.
I'm just impressed he had found an altar like at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just standing outside the local satanic wares shop going, come on.
Yeah.
Craigslist.
Appearing in the window.
Just Craigslist, refresh. Satanic altar, refresh. So we go back to Grant Mansion, and sure enough, that doctor's there, and he does the work. He takes the chip out of Jack's scalp. There's a great third panel of the profile of unconscious Jack. This is like, should go in the wiki of like the way Jack Russell should look, at least like in this era. And Steven's saying, hey, I won't forget the favor. Now sew him up and you can leave. And this fourth panel, is the doctor saluting? What is that motion he's doing?
It's no, I think
Is he
he's
smacking his forehead, or is he wiping sweat off?
He's wiping sweat off. He doesn't have a nurse or an assistant to do that, so he
Marlene
has
would
to
do
do it
that.
himself. Yeah,
She'd do it for me.
yeah. You wish.
Very COVID safe page.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Steven says, sorry it has to be this way, Doc, but I've already told you I can't explain. So just hurry, please. It's already past noon. And he's looking, he's talking his back to the doctor. He's looking at this bug, this chip. And the doctor's leaving, and he's like, well, what are you going to do with that thing? And Steven's like, don't worry. I have plans for its disposal. And then he goes into the mansion's game room where we see a big billiards table. So, yeah.
That's a cool page.
Cool.
Yeah, Mark in these pages, am I wrong, Matt? He kind of reminded me of like Aparo's or Shadow almost a little bit.
I can see that. There's just kind of his lower half of his face is covered.
Maybe that's it. But no, just how his hair
needs a bigger nose, doesn't he?
He does need a little bit of a bigger nose, but it's covered up. We don't know. But
he could be pressing it down.
He could be.
2 inches could be taped down.
So I do like on the next page, we realize that Mark places the tracker in his billiard case. And I love that next panel to where he's like, now devils, make your move. And he is tearing off his shirt to reveal the Moon Knight costume underneath. He is Clark Kenting a little bit there. It's super, super cool. So the Satanists arrive at the manor, and can I just say that a lot of these guys are drawn like they are, they're not scary to me because they look like they're in their late 60s.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these guys, like I really got a Batman 66 henchman vibe from a lot of these guys, to where you're like, you're not scary, right? Like you look like my grandpa. Like I don't really think you can hurt me.
Yeah, like this guy in the bottom left, he looks like he'd sell you bait. And like these other guys look like they're like, I didn't get into Satanism until my second wife left me and my 22-year-old daughter cut me off. And I was like, well, now I need to do something with my time. And I got into the church. Like they're all like this sad middle-aged, like, I don't know, each day as a Satanist is worse than the last.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I love that all his people like that, like the henchmen, all have their own face. Though there's no repeating of how they all have their own individual identity. So you could, like the guy that you're talking about, the bait guy, and then the guy in the background has a bit of a goatee, and and the one in the front has such beautiful blue eyes. And
yeah, they're not all just thumbs, right? They're like individual people that he chose to render and think about. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. In our last page, our last panel on this page, we see Mark, recovering from the operation, and he's being helped out by Marlene.
So Frenchie says Russell has finally emerged from the anesthetic, Mark, and Mark has this whole plan that's like into action, right? So he's like, good, help Marlene get him into Lockley's cab in the garage, but tell her to stay there, not to move until she hears from me over the cab's radio through my cowl mic. Then you get up to the roof, Frenchie, and wait by the chopper. Like, we Mark, the trap. She is about to close, no? Like, yes. So
is he doing the twirling of the mustache?
He's twirling his huge handlebar mustache. I love it. So the Satanists are sitting outside Grant Mansion, like, nobody's left except a guy with doctor's license plates. It's like, do we go in? I'm like, yep. So they get out and they're putting on their crazy ass Kirby Ditko tri-guns on their wrists, in their black Ku Klux Klan outfits, just in the middle of fucking Richie Rich, upstate New York. And so Marlene's sitting in the cab in the garage in the dark, just waiting. She's like, anything yet, Moon Knight? Moon Knight? When do we go? We get a great panel of him just in shadow, which again is just almost all dark. Not yet, Marlene. I'll let you know. And then the henchmen raise their tri-beams, whatever the hell they are, towards a big, pretty window, and they're going to go in.
Yeah, Frenchie's the best part of this page for sure. This fucking ridiculous
she is about to close, no?
No.
Oh, I know it's as trite and contrived as you can get, but I love every second of it.
I do too. He's so charming.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So the next page we see, and their guns shoot, fire through the window, and then I thought it was funny, like these goons, they're just like, no resistance, none so far, and then they're following a beeping noise. Matt,
does this count as big glass? Did he have to go through the glass, or can he shoot it out?
No, this is glass breaking, so let's drink to that.
Basically, glass had to be replaced, right? So the glass industry, it was a boon to them.
Glass totally had to be replaced. Yeah.
Making sure.
No, I appreciate it. So yeah, they're doing something which I consider fairly ridiculous. Like I don't know. I don't follow beeping noises. Like beep. I wouldn't follow beeps. But they do, and they just keep following it, and they're like, it's getting louder in there. A game room, but it's empty. Maybe that door. And they open it up, and I love that the 8-ball falls out of the billiard cabinet.
So good.
and then it's like beep beep beep, and like the homing device. And I love the them all in profile down there at the bottom. It's like that shot in Twin Peaks, Matt. It's like the fucking Bookhouse Boys,
Mount Rushmore of Bookhouse Boys.
That's
their album cover, isn't it? That's like their their yacht rock album cover.
Yep, that's the kind of music these guys would play. 100%.
The bait salesman drop a dime for Satan.
Yeah.
That's the album name. So I got to tell you, I love that 8-ball thing too. A nice little visual joke. I honestly thought that. I mean, I know he's not going to blow up his own mansion, but I thought he was going to have some kind of like a death dealing trap, like a literal trap, like
me too
thing. Mm-hmm. It was like, no, it was just drawing them into a position for him to attack, which is okay.
That's very cool.
Hey, right the first time, dunces, as he sneaks up behind them. And notice also that one of the pool cues is missing as he just racks the back of the three of them, no pun intended, on the back of their heads with his pool cue. He's like, now, Marlene, beat it fast.
I want one of them just to be like, we don't know how many pool cues you have. How do we know what's missing?
You could have one you keep with you because you're such a nut for it.
That's it.
This third panel up here is just a green background with a silhouette of Marlene's high-heeled shoe stomping. It says stomp in pink as she's stomping on the gas pedal as he tells her that through his cowl, Mike. I love it. Like if God, if we ever got Steve McQueen through Earth something 17 playing Mark Spector, he would say, punch it, baby, punch it.
Yeah.
Like at the Getaway. So she punches it, and sure enough, Jake's cab goes barreling through the garage door. We're on our way, Moon Knight, and there doesn't seem to be any others outside. And he's inside kicking the shit out of these guys. High kicks like Baryshnikov, just destroying them. He's like, all right, well, go ahead.
I was going to say that kick, the height on that kick makes my groin and hip hurt looking at that.
Yeah.
That's just.
I've strained my pelvis getting in and out of my car because I'm in my 40s. Did you pull something working out? No, I just got out of my car. That was all it was. Just
that's how it is.
I was high kicking. That's why I was high kicking.
I was also high kicking satanic cultists in my mansion. So they make a plan to meet at Gina's diner in an hour. And he lets Frenchie know, okay, I finished the job I started this morning. Now, one quick stop before Gina's to drop off these clowns with Flint at the police station. So we cut to Gina's. Moon Knight comes in with this whole crew. And she's like, that's him? Gina, sorry. It's like, but he don't look like no Lon Chaney werewolf. I love that, by the way.
I know.
She's just like, he doesn't look like a werewolf.
Yeah.
And Crawley's like, my dear Gina, it is 3:00 of a salubriously solar afternoon, and lycanthropy, as everyone knows, is an endemically nocturnal phenomenon. Very proud of himself.
He's very proud of himself as flies fly around his head.
Big old smile.
Yeah. No, this page is great. I love the I really like the weird kind of rendering of the car like smashing through
So do
all the
I.
boards.
That's my favorite
too.
part. Is that weird?
It's cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm not a car guy.
Very
either.
action movie.
Yeah.
That and the bottom left panel of Moon Knight just talking to Frenchie through his mic. Just, you know, much like Batman, there are times where it's just like, just any single panel of Moon Knight doing anything is just fucking gold.
Yeah. The
And
design
there's
is
not much to it. Yeah. Like you don't have to do a lot with it. It's like I was saying before, you know, artists must love drawing it because it's always just a little bit of white, bit of black, and off you go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, next page, Gina flips the sign, say sorry, we're closed, and yeah, we see the whole gang is there, and we move down, and the plan is for Marlene to hypnotize Jack. And so she's saying, listen to my voice, Jack Russell. Look at the pearl and think of it as the moon, the bright glistening orb of the moon. It fills your eyes, all you can see, fills your mind, all you can imagine. And we see Jack saying, the moon, the full moon. And he's starting to transform. Like it says, the stiff hair sprouts from his skin. And then she's like, no, not now, Jack Russell. You can't change now. Did you think of Ed Wood at this point, where he's like, isn't that point? You're sad. You're devastated.
Oh,
no, not that sad. Not that sad.
Got to get through that door.
Got to get through that door. That's all I can think at that part. And she's like, this isn't really the moon. It's just a symbol. It's not even dark yet. That's right. This is just the moon in your imagination. What does the moon do? And he's like, it changes me, turns me into a werewolf. And then we get such a fucking cool panel at the end. It's just her eye all in white. Then the rest of the panel is all white. And she's like, and you can kind of see the pearl moving, across her eye. She says, that's right. It gives the werewolf life. And who is the werewolf? He's like, me, I'm the werewolf. And she says, then the moon gives you life, doesn't it? So yeah, it's a bit of a stretch what she's doing, but as stylized and cool as the art is, I'm gonna go with it.
No, I wasn't thinking of Ed Wood. I was just thinking like when he starts growing fur, it's probably like the equivalent of like getting an erection, where it's just like, I'm sorry, you're really pretty. You're like up in my face. You're like doing ASMR shit. Like, no offense. Good night.
Your breath on my ear, just a little bit.
I know.
It just sets me off.
She's gorgeous, and she's.
I have I think it's my issue number 2 in my print run that someone's actually, one of the panels has her in like a sheer nightgown, and someone's actually drawn nipples on her.
Oh,
so
good.
someone who had it before me has just gone beep, beep, and there you go. And it's like, well, look, I get it, but yeah.
Hey, I regret selling that one. Can I'll buy that back from you.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'll just send you. You want me to send you some photos of it? It might just be as easy.
Yeah, 11-year-old Matt really thought that was a work of art.
Yeah, well,
it was red pen too, if that helps.
Yeah,
that's Matt.
I like that Gina mentioned flies, like the Crowley's flies. Again, I guess it's been a while since I've read this. I was like, I can't remember. Like, are they too polite to talk about them? But nope.
Gina will do it.
Yeah,
do the flies at least know what the fuck you're talking about? You crazy son of a bitch! Like, I love her.
She's great.
Yeah, and that, like you're saying, Jacob, that bottom row, particularly that right panel, bottom right, that should be a poster.
So cool.
And it's cool. You can see the outline of the pearl swinging back
like
and forth across the eye too. That's awesome.
Much the way when you see the phases of the moon diagrams, right? That's so cool. Yeah. So then she says, now who stands next to me? And Jack says, Moon Knight. Like, yes. And he's the emissary of the moon, the spirit of the moon, the keeper of the moon's powers. Yes, the spirit of the moon. And she's saying, and we get this cool panel where the pearl and the moon are kind of infused together. The markings on the moon are on the pearl. And so does Moon Knight himself, who gives life to the werewolf. Who gives life to you, Jack Russell? And this is something you will remember even after you become the werewolf. Moon Knight is your friend, and you will help him. You cannot hurt him, because if you hurt the giver of your life, you kill yourself. Say it. I must help Moon Knight, must not hurt him. Good. You will awaken when I count to 3. So she counts to 3, and it worked. Yeah, perfectly.
Done.
And he says, great, because I'm suddenly starving. Anything to eat in this joint? And that offends Gina, the owner of the restaurant. She's like,
Yeah.
But she's also offended because of, her Christian values have been upset by this weird. And she's like, hoodoo. Out and out hoodoo.
Yeah.
And say what you mean. Anything to eat in this joint? You bet your hairy hide there's plenty to eat in this joint. So she's going to fix Jack up. So at 5:10 back at 666 Fifth Avenue, they're sure everything's all in time. They're going to get Jack back in time. And the phone rings and he says, yes, Asmodeus, is that you? And there's a classic whole bit here of deception where it's like, Morningstar, about the static interference. Sorry, but there's the bug in his scalp. Blah, 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 blah. Like, so you're going to bring him here at once so the blood ritual can proceed as scheduled? So we know what's going on. They're doing the whole saran wrap and the microphone. Bad connection, but we got him, boss. We're going to come in right now.
Yep.
Classic.
We're good. How about you?
Yeah, that's all. That's all I could think about. Yeah.
Yep. Or the was it the Wayne's World 2 when they pull up to the donut shop and he's doing that, and we'll have that.
That's what I was trying to do. Oh man.
So yeah, it continues on the next page. Belial says, "You see, doubters, you shall have your proof just as I promised tonight." And we also see there's a pretty cool demon statue that he has there. And then, so I love these next couple panels. I love that after Jack is hypnotized, he's just chatty. He's just like, "Hey, everybody, what's going on?" He's like,
well, he
delicious.
also doesn't have a tracking device attached to a Colt in his skull anymore.
That's true. So he's feeling really chatty. He just wants to kind of bro out with Moon Knight a little bit. First, he's like, "Delicious, Gina," and then he's just making small talk. He's like, "So Moon Knight, you still making good bounties?" And Moon Knight's like, "I don't work for money anymore, Russell. Got enough to last me." And so I love this panel. Jack's head is all wrapped up and he's just like got a mouthful of food and he's probably just like, "Just fighting crime out of the goodness of your heart?" And that's like, "Yeah, something like that. How about you? Any closer to a cure?" And Jack's like, "Nope. But at least the werewolf hasn't killed anyone innocent yet. And thank God he seems to prefer game flesh to..." And then there's a great panel as he's saying that, and he's looking at the meat on his fork.
God, that got dark fast.
Yeah. He drops it, and then he's like, "Human." And he's like, "Suddenly not hungry." Moon Knight kind of comes over and puts his arm on his shoulder and is like, "It's time anyways. Frenchie's made his call by now." And he's like, "Ready to play dead again?" Jack's like, "As ready as I'll ever be." Moon Knight says, "Let's go. We've got a date with the devil." And then, we switch back to the 666 building. And, we see that their ruse is in full effect. So Moon Knight is dressed as one of the cultists and has Jack playing possum over his shoulder.
Red Zone Cuba. Sick man here.
Yeah, sick man, Red Zone Cuba.
I feel like Moon Knight's sort of the other cut of this is Moon Knight going, "But if you don't finish your dinner, you can't have any ice cream, Jack."
Yeah.
I really love the art of that scene in the diner when Jack's eating, particularly that close up of him being put off his feed. Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. It is so cool.
And yeah, I mean, like I was being a smartass, but I'm serious. Like that, he was in a great mood and everything was coming up werewolf. And then he's like, yeah, he's not eating anybody innocent yet. He's not eating humans. And he's like, "Oh, that's right. Getting some kind of brown out mememories here of me eating the committee a little bit.
Of me totally
upsetting.
eating humans."
Yeah. Yeah.
Sticking at his teeth and
Yeah.
I mean, our guest is a vegan and he's a straight edge guy, so he doesn't have to deal with the demons that you and I wrestle with every day.
Every second of every day.
yeah,
How does that feel?
I'm just holier than thou,
Yeah. Yep. Didn't save your ACL. So Yeah, they drag Jack in, and they're like, all right, get him up to the roof. And he's like, I'll give you a hand. Which arm's hurt? And because he pretends like he's, needs help. And he's like, neither. But my right arm could use that weird weapon of yours. So, yeah, there's this weird panel here. It's a very extreme close-up where Moon Knight's eyes are coming out from inside the cultist peaked hat. Mm-hmm. And does he punch that cult member so he gets his gun?
Seems like it, yes.
Okay. It's all very close, like meant to be like close and intense and kind of erratic to show that it's violent and fast and unexpected. So up on the roof, it's raining again, but they have Jack down on that altar, and Belial's raising his arms above him. Hear me, followers of the left-hand path. I am Skylar Belial, the morning star, and I have promised you proof that I am Satan's chosen. And we have a beautiful panel of just like this weird moon that looks like Atari graphics, like striations through it and these different values to make it like orange, pinkish, black. It's very strange. Like it's like layers of smog. And then outside of that, it's alternating colors like purple and mauve and black. It's so cool. And he continues saying, darkness rules the sky to cradle the full moon. And soon the youth on the altar before me shall transform into the beast of the apocalypse. And you shall have your proof. And then we cut back to Moon Knight, still dressed as a cult member, and he has two of these crazy-ass guns now. And he's like, two weird weapons should be better than one if I can slip close enough to use them without being noticed. So, yeah, he looks, he's fucking ready to go. And there's a great panel below this of Belial working up from like the worm's eye view at Belial. The rain's coming down. The moon is red, and he's raising a silver dagger that's glinting above him, and he's underlit, much like we were saying, like Lon Chaney would be in a promo for Wolfman. And he says, darkness is full, and when he begins to change, his blood shall flow an offering to the dark lord of hell. So it's getting very freaky. In the bottom left, we get a great profile of Jack starting to sprout fur because the moon is out, and it says third night. I felt the last hurrah of the full moon for this month, and I began to change. And then in the final panel, we see all motion lines, a robed wrist coming down holding a dagger. It says, the gathered Satanists gasped at the miracle, and Belial's blade made its plunge. Some good drama and suspense here in the way this is paced by Minch and Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, it really ramps up in a cool way, especially those last three panels of Belial raising the dagger, Jack starting to change, and then the real scratchy, weird, tiny panel at the end of him, starting to plunge the dagger down. It's so cool.
It's really cool, that last one, that it's just lines. There's no real form to it, but you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
that's the magic of Sienkiewicz,
Mm-hmm.
And but on the next page, we see that right before he does that, Mark zaps the dagger out of Belial's hand and gives the signal to Jack. He says, now, wrestle, now. And Jack says, the narration is like, I don't know if I was actually obeying him, but I jumped into their ugly faces with relish nonetheless. After all, or after the chill of the stone altar on my back, I wanted to warm up fast, and I did. And so, the first panel of him after he transformed is super badass.
God, that has to be in the feed, please.
Oh shit, yeah, it's so good. That's probably is my favorite rendering of the werewolf in this whole issue.
I agree.
And then he just starts tearing into these jackasses, knocking their hats off, which is great. It's so satisfying. They're asinine peaked hats, which is Mensch at his finest. And then, Moon Knight starts shooting, and he's saying, you want to shoot out at the Hades corral, scum? Come on, then. I'll match you blast for weird blast. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit of the Mark from his first appearance in Werewolf by Night. Yeah. A little goofy. He's quipping a little bit.
Yeah, pretty corn dog.
So I need to know, though, with these blasters, do they go into like a point, or do they just shoot three beams? Because it seems to differ depending on which panel you're looking at, because sometimes they seem to be hitting one spot, but then others it's just like three straight out ahead. And that doesn't seem like it'd be very practical. Three straight ahead.
We should have had Andrew on. I told you he's bad fit for the show.
Can't
that's a good question.
Disbelief.
So we were wondering, we're speculating, Andrew, last issue, because one of them refers to them as like a sleep beam. and some of them are clearly like deadly. So like we were wondering, like, I wonder if they're like 3 calibers of weapons. Like there's a laser, like a dart or something like that, like a sleep dart, and there's like just a bullet or something like that. So they have like
something that warms up your coffee. Yeah, got it.
Yes, exactly. Good question though. I don't know if they all like zero in on one thing, like the Predator thing, or what. I don't know. But he's kicking ass with them.
No. Yeah. That's
in the Hades Corral. That's obviously got to be the name of this trade. This is like a mini trade with some back matter added in.
Oh man, it's funny.
I've got to say too that I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but the sound effects and throughout the whole issue are so underrated. Like the panel with the close up on the wolf's face with the roar and the zam zam of the lasers. It's just they're just incredible. Like he's just you can hear all the sound effects. Like back when the panel with him dropping the fork on the plate, you can hear that in your head. Like it's just incredible work.
Yeah, you're right. I think, and when he puts big swings in like wham, when they fall off the rooftop into the alleyway, like that kind of like, those are so big that sometimes you don't realize like even the smaller things are pretty goddamn well thought out. Like that roar is, you can hear that roar. You're right. It's great. So yeah, Moon Knight's noting that I don't normally use guns of any kind, but then it's not every day that I have to save the world from the forces of Satan. As he's like elbowing these dudes in the face and like he's just like jumping into them and just kicking the shit out of them. And he punches one guy like that's flying through the air, and Belial's in the background. This great panel like with this giant red moon behind him, and he's raising his arms up, saying, "Stop them, you fools! There's only 2 of them. Stop them!" And they're just making hash out of these guys in the foreground. This is one of my favorite parts here. Was like them just going to town separately but together, just beating the shit out of these guys in the pissing rain on the rooftop of this building. It says, "Only 2 of us, all right," as the beast roars and Mark's punching people, but what a pair. And when inevitably our paths collided and they're backing up and like the werewolf bumps back into him and Moon Knight, his eyes kind of get big. He looks over his shoulder like, oh shit, okay, hopefully this works. He's like, nice, Russell, nice boy. And the beast starts going, he's like, I'm your friend, remember? You can't hurt me, remember? Marlene is a superb hypnotist, remember?
Yeah.
And he just keeps growling. So yeah, this hypnotism gambit has been tested and it seems to work for the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last dialogue is so funny.
I know.
It worked perfectly though.
She's a superb hypnotist, remember?
It's great. You can even see that last panel. It's something my dog does as well. Like when they pull the snout back and you can just see the wrinkles in his snout.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love it. And I just love that they're just like, there's such chaos of them just beating the shit out of these morons. Like they just are freestyling around. They just end up bumping into each other. And it's like, that's the first time they actually make contact. It wasn't even a problem till now.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I love this next page. So the next page is a full page illustration. It's just so cool. It shows Mark and Jack kind of facing off against these guys. And the narration reads, "Then whirled to savage the Satanists with an old enemy and new friend fighting at my side. It felt good, almost as good as ripping through their hated flesh." It's just, I honestly, I think, Matt, like during our first season, I think I posted this on our feed as just like maybe a Werewolf Wednesday image, if I'm correct, because I love it. I think it's so cool.
Oh, this should be a poster. I don't remember that though.
Yeah, I know I posted it at some point. Maybe it was a story, but yeah, I know that I did some posts from this and the previous issue because they're just so cool, and I can see them again and again. Never get tired of them.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's poster worthy. So, folks, if you haven't seen it, see it. It should be in the feed, Jacob.
Oh, I'm on it.
Next page, Jack continues, "Then I spotted Belial himself backing away to the edge of the roof." So the werewolf, we see it from his perspective, he's still slashing away at these guys, but Belial's kind of moving away. And he says, "And I closed on his trembling blubber." And we get this great shot like through Jack's fangs and his growling mouth, Belial through his teeth saying, "No." And then we got a crow's eye view looking down from above saying, he shrieked and gibbered, gaping at the beast of his own personal apocalypse. And the werewolf was just driving him towards the very edge of this skyscraper. And then we get him picking up over his head, exultantly, body slam position. The sound only made my blood run hotter, and hotter still. We cut in closer as the beast is just roaring, looking right into Belial's terrified face in the rain. He says, until I howled, and he screamed, and he just throws him over the edge, and we see Belial's body falling down. He says, and the hideous sounds became one. And the last thing you see is the peaked hat floating down slowly, gently by itself as the body is way below, probably splattering on the sidewalk.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a great end to Belial, you know.
He'll be back.
More. Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back. But it's the way that it's the action, like the whole book has been like it, but the action in just this page, like the through the teeth, the bird's eye, the everything, even that middle panel where it's, you know, it's hotter still until I howled, and it's holding him. You can see the close up of him holding him and like howling at him. It's just incredible looking.
Yeah, Sienkiewicz always knows what to show at the right moment. Like he's so dialed in on what is the most effective and evocative thing to show. Like just the idea of like that panel you were talking about with the hotter blood thing. Like Belial is shrieking in panic and pissing himself. The werewolf is howling at a different frequency and they're out of sync. And then at some point when he chucks him over, they kind of just compliment each other. And it's like, and then he hits the ground.
So cool. So I love this next page. The layout is pretty neat on this page. So on the left is a long vertical panel that shows Jack kind of drooling in triumph. And the narration reads, vengeance was mine, saith the werewolf, in a growl of supreme satisfaction. Says, but the other Satanists were not quite finished. They'd snatched up fallen weapons and were now blasting to beat the beast. And we kind of see Jack and Mark taking care of the last of the Satanists. And such a cool panel right underneath that with Moon Knight doing another amazing kick. And his other foot kind of going into the next panel. And then also his, just kind of, hitting that guy's face. And it just is crushing the Satanist's face. It's so...
Driving his nose bone up into his brain.
It pretty much is. And, it's so cool. And then, Frenchie radios to Mark, you know, saying Flint's men have arrived. And Mark's like, good work, Frenchie. If we can only get Russell to grab the ladder. And so he's like, grab it, Russell. Don't just stand there. They'll cut you till they cut you down. Listen to me, Russell. Grab it. And then finally, the werewolf felt a vague stir of recognition. And also, I love the depiction of the werewolf in that final panel, too.
Yeah.
So cool.
I feel like that upper right one is one that you kind of sleep on because the next panel's so cool. But like that angle of like the werewolf like crouching down and just happen to be missing all these laser beams wherever they are.
Yep.
But it's just such a weird angle. And like he's just kind of like happens to just survive this moment as like Moon Knight swoops in to help him kind of clear this out and free him up a space to be, you know, removed by Frenchie. God, Sienkiewicz, man.
I know.
He's just incredible.
So yeah, the beast seems to have been stirred to recognition. So he grabs onto that chain or that ladder that's hanging down, and he claws to it, and he's swept off. And he hears Moon Knight bellowing, "Get him out of here! Get him out of range, Frenchie! I'll use my glider cape." And below, there's sirens wailing, and the Flint's men are moving in and getting all the freaks in custody, and we're just left with Moon Knight and the last few stragglers. He says, "Sorry, O worshipper of the dark, but you're the last one blocking my way to the edge. And I do mean to take the plunge." And so he runs diving off of the cliff, off of the rooftop, and spreads his cape out as there's just beams going all around him. And he's gliding. And it says, blocks away from the action, the ladder came down low enough for me to drop to the street. This is Jack continuing. And a moment later, Moon Knight ended his glider flight nearby. And we see him gently dropping to the alley floor as the werewolf is crouching, hunched over in the foreground.
I love that last panel.
They made it out.
Yep, they made it out. Jack's pants are intact.
Yeah, I know.
So
He could even take those back without a receipt and probably exchange them if he wanted to. Not that he would, but I mean, that's a first.
No, that guy's never going to get rid of a good pair of green pants.
Well, I know.
That's his entire closet.
I feel like buying green pants before we do this live podcast thing next weekend. Should I just buy green jeans?
Let's both be Mr. Green Jeans and do that. That'll be good. So, wow, what a cool page, this next one. So the top panel on this page shows, I love it. It kind of shows like Jack and Mark locking eyes almost. And it says, narration of Jack's says, "We faced each other for long moments across the deserted street. I turned and sprinted lithely for the moon." And then we hear off panel, Frenchie's like, "Are you going to let the werewolf go, Mark?" And he says, and Mark says, "He's already gone, Frenchie. His future is in our hands now, and it's probably better this way. For a moment, I thought I might be able to keep him under control, but Marlene's hypnotic spell can't last forever. And even though I hate to agree with Belial on any score, the werewolf is a beast, at least under the moon. And he simply craves his freedom, too much to care about someone who kept hitting him over the head." But I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate.
So I had a hard time parsing this page.
Like just where to go with the dialogue?
Yes.
Yeah, I did too.
I read it several times. Like, first of all, I don't understand him saying his future is in our hands now.
It's a little weird.
I didn't understand any of the thrust of, I guess, this speech here, this little mini soliloquy. Who kept hitting over the head? Moon Knight?
Yeah, Moon Knight kept hitting him over the head.
Okay.
Early on, anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I got it, but there was some turns of phrase where I was like, do I get it?
Do I? Yeah. No, I understand. It was a little dicey, but yeah, I got the gist, and I dig it.
Do you reckon Frenchie's just sitting in the copter with he's got himself on mute going, "Oh my God, he just doesn't shut up." Or he's confused face going, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, here Mark goes again."
Yeah, if this was now, he would be completely tuned out. He'd have like 4 screens up, like Insta feed and like TikTok, and he'd be like popping hot Cheetos. Like, I'm sorry, what?
What?
Were you saying something?
What about his future? Yeah.
Googling CT, concussion, traumatic encephalopathy symptoms.
I do love that big portrait of Moon Knight just defined by rain.
God,
that's
how
beautiful.
awesome is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
No hard contour lines, just all that. So the final page is a very Sienkiewicz, expressionistic, kind of impressionistic, I guess, rather. The way you would see the rain in the city. And it's just peopled by streetlights that are kind of distorted through the rain. And there's puddles. And so there's the lights reflecting off in this kind of strange, surreal, Dali kind of way. And we just see the werewolf Naruto running away. And the narration continues around this is one big splash page. It says, "Moon Knight was wrong. Despite all our fights, the werewolf left with certain regret, even if Moon Knight was also right about one thing. As a beast, governed by no rules but my own, I was simply too stubborn about my freedom. I had to run through the deep night and see what the next shadow might hide. As for the trace of the human within me, it was all made easier by the fact that at least some people cared, and were maybe even praying I'd make it. So I howled, and within the howl there was a farewell to Moon Knight. Maybe forever."
And then sad, Incredible Hulk music plays.
Yeah,
that's
dun,
right.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Should we do a letter or final thoughts first?
Well, let's do final thoughts first.
Okay, Andrew, you're our guest. Please tell us in summation, what do you think of this issue?
I think it's an art showcase. It's Sienkiewicz just throwing it all the wall, and a lot of the panels we talked about, the one with the eye with the pearl swinging back and forth, the last page. I think it's even if the story is fun, but even if the story wasn't as fun as it is, I think the art would still push it over the top as to be definitely an issue you need to have a look at.
Jacobus?
I love it. I feel like it was slightly different layout wise. I feel than 29. I feel like I think that every page of 29 was almost an experimental layout. I feel like the layouts and the construction of this issue was a little more normal than Sienkiewicz normally does, but I also think it's a powerhouse of an issue. This is Rubber Soul, and 29 was Revolver.
Fair enough.
That's my.
Wow. Okay. I also see the difference you were talking about, Jacob, with Sienkiewicz's approach to each issue. And, to me, this was that's a result of like this being conceived of as a whole story, these two parts. And the first part was really about him setting the mood and establishing the location and the vibe and whatever else, like the mise en scène or whatever you want to call that stuff. And so he got to really stretch as an artist. And not that he did not do it here, but this second part of the story was the fallout of the setup. This is where all the dominoes start to fall and all of the things happen as a result of everything that happened in the first issue. So it was more action oriented. And as a result was you didn't get those kind of train yard shots as much, or those, there wasn't time because time was the prime factor of the second part of the story. So, I totally see what you're saying, and it wasn't, Revolver and Rubber Soul is fair enough. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Rubber Soul, but Revolver was changing the game, and Rubber Soul was just bringing folk rock to the masses, right? He's changing the sound and spreading it, and Revolver was changing the entire game and making a new board. So, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I was a little disappointed the first read through, to be honest. I was after 29, but on second and third read through, I was like, no, this is brilliant. It's just a natural follow through of a action started in 29. So
it's funny though, because this is 29 had a backup story. So I almost feel like, I mean, there's a lot more pages in this one. Like there's a lot more. There's a lot more room to tell the story, but something about it seems slightly rushed to me. I really feel like Bill didn't have as much time to do this issue as he did 29. That's my gut feeling.
Not rushed on Doug's part, but rushed on the visuals.
Rushed on the visuals, yeah.
It might also explain the three letterers as well, that Bill was behind, and so when he turned the art in, they needed three people to go quick, let's get this book lettered.
Yeah, I feel like there was
the fact
some
that he
kind
jumped
of
ship as well. I feel like there might be a little more story to this than we realize.
That's what I think too. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I would love to have some specifics story wise on what was going on in his life at this point.
Yeah, I just feel like all the stuff we called out and loving in this was obviously brilliant, but like, that moment when Marlene's hypnotizing him, and we love that thing with just the white field with her eye in it and the pearls motion in there, like that. 29 was made of those.
Every panel was that, and this was like every panel.
This was like they would take a break from the action long enough to give you one of those here and there. I do see the difference. I love them equally, but they're different things, different animals. So we talked about a couple letters from last time. This is also from Moon Knight 32. There was, again, 2 pages of letters frequently, so this got a lot of reader interaction. So this guy, Andrew J. Shaw, just says, "Fuck you, you suck, I hate you."
Yeah.
That's more constructive than he usually is.
Yeah.
Here's 2 short ones real quick. Dear Doug, Bill, and Denny, Moon Knight number 30 was brilliant. No, it wasn't particularly thought-provoking or powerful issue, but it was one of sheer entertainment. I was wondering just when and how Jack Russell would get his revenge on Skylar Belial for all the torture he had put Jack through. I was glad to see a deserving Belial handily dealt with by a vengeful werewolf. It was a fitting end for a satanical madman. The artwork for this issue was, as always, superb. Bill's art fits the mood of Moon Knight perfectly and literally brings Doug Minch's stories to life. Shane Francis, Waukee, Iowa. What do you think of that one?
I think he's right.
Yeah, agreed.
And here's a different one. Dear editor, if I didn't want to keep my Moon Knight collection in continuity, I wouldn't have bought issue number 30. The cover just plain turned me off. Then I read the story, The Moonwraith, 3 Sixes, and a Beast. I liked it no more than the cover. I'm tired of monsters, Satanism, the supernatural, etc. I like more down-to-earth stories. Please. By the way, does Moon Knight number 29 through 30 take place before or after Spider-Woman's 48 through 50? Thanks for listening. D.M. Pratt, Union, New Jersey. And this is going to bug me, Jacob. You know me. The response from Denny is, you're welcome, DM. To answer your question, the Moon Knight werewolf stories take place after the events of Spider-Woman number 50. So now we're out of fucking continuity.
No. I'm going to have to... I don't like that. I don't think Denny knows what he's talking about.
He's the editor.
I know he's the editor, but I kind of liked what you and I were, and what I feel like Doug is actually doing here, which is Doug is throwing away all of the Spider-Woman issues and has just basically been like, yeah, since these two last met, Jack has been running away from a cult.
Yeah.
And this is where his story picks up, which I kind of love.
Right. If you're a grown-up, you're a sophisticated story reader.
Yes.
This is all you need to know.
Yep, that's all you need to know. Yeah.
But you can't throw out the like the Enforcer stuff. I mean, it's goofy and light, but it's part of the Buck Cowan saga.
It's part of the Buck Cowan saga. I get it, but yeah, you know.
Okay. Right. Just it sounds like dismissive, and I'm not caring for that at all.
It's supposed to be a little dismissive, yes.
Hey, folks, if you don't know, we have a Patreon page where people can support us, and that is patreon.com/werewolfbynight-podcast. We do a ton of stuff there for different levels, but at our higher levels, like the $5 a month and $10 a month, we do a bonus show that has video versions of it, and we give shout-outs to those folks as well. And we're going to be... talking about continuing our quadrarchy of 1981 werewolf perfection films from 1981. So we talked about The Howling last week. This week we're going to be talking about Wolfen with Albert Finney. I've never seen it. I'm excited to watch it finally. And I'll be continuing The Urge to Scourge. This is part 7, which covers Avengers 263. And anything else, Jacob? Any burning issues besides your urinary tract?
No, just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is a part of the show where we like to give a shout out to our top donating people, such as our Star Gods, the Barbarian Deity tier, who give us $10 or more a month. Folks like Michael G.,
Josh Link,
Jackson T. Overstreet,
Ryan from Across the Bifrost,
Mark Nivens,
and Eric Hadley.
And we also want to give a shout out to our PAC members, the folks who give us support at $5 a month. Tim Tucker,
Brian from Marvel by the Month,
Blake, last name withheld,
Jeff Fitzpatrick,
Caleb,
Ben M.,
Michelle from Moonlight Comics,
Rob Haferman,
Russ from Tomes of Evil,
Brad Elmore,
Johnny Turner,
Tony Iupi,
Jared C.,
Brink,
Bill from Long Island,
and David D.
Thank you for your support. You make the show great. In it, Jacob.
Absolutely.
A summit. Yeah. Andrew, can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to us about this little comic book, this funny book.
It's always a pleasure. Always.
What else you got going on? I know that you've written some comics. Do you have any writing work or anything coming up you can plug?
We still have lots of issues of Cul-de-sac for sale. I even dropped the price down to from $15 to $10 recently to see if I can move some of them, because now they're starting to take up a bit of space in my garage.
Is this volume? Is this the first one?
Yeah. It looks like it's probably only going to be a first one as well. Just based on some life changes of Will. So I think he's sort of out of the art game for a while now. So it looks like we're just going to stick with the one for now. But, you never say never. We might get there eventually. But at the moment, we had a bit of problems, or we are having problems with Comixology being bought by Amazon, in that our book just completely disappeared off Comixology.
Oh, God.
There's no digital way to get it anymore, unfortunately, at the moment. So I only have print copies. So as Matt would know, shipping can be very expensive.
Yeah.
But if anyone would like a copy who has seen one, just shoot me a message on some kind of social media, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere, and I'll try and get one out to you.
So just to be clear, to reiterate, listeners cannot get a digital copy currently.
No, unfortunately.
So, and in order to buy a physical copy, they would have to pay for overseas shipping.
Yes.
Which would be like 3 times the cover price of the book. Okay. So
I usually try and cap it at about $10-15 shipping. Just I try and make it a little bit more enticing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many
That's
pages
not
is
too
it?
bad.
It's 62 pages.
Oh, that's not
okay.
bad.
Hand painted full color art for $10.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
We should talk about maybe you sending me a bundle of them and letting me be a stateside person, because I could cut that down by a third.
A mule, if you will.
Well, wouldn't a one time would it take some of the weight off to have like one?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if people do want a copy, we could certainly sort something out. We could even if I'm going to send a bunch, and it'll cut the shipping costs right down, which is really good. So I have done that before, and it has worked for conventions and things over in the States. I've sent a few to people, so yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's talk offline about that, because I think we should do that. And I don't have my copy yet.
Yeah. I will get one in your hands, don't you worry.
Yes, and I know people that listen to the show would love it. So like Staple Spine, I know he would love it. There's plenty of folks over here stateside that need to get this.
Yeah, especially if you like horror. If you love horror, it's an anthology book. It's it's set in the 1950s. It's just I'm really proud of the way it came out, and it's probably my favorite thing I've ever written. So it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. We'll work that out. Maybe keep your eyes peeled to our social on Instagram or Twitter or our Patreon page. Hopefully we can offer that to some folks to get stateside without paying an arm and a leg. Let's do it all at once.
Yeah, just a couple of fingers.
Yeah, just a couple of fingers. Yeah. Great. So good to see you and talk to you again.
Yeah, you guys too.
Cool. So check out our bonus show this week, guys. That'll be coming out tomorrow as well, or on the same day of the normal show. And Jacob, anything else we need to tell the people?
I don't think so. I think this is good.
Right on. Well, till we meet again at the full moon, for everyone's, here's howling at ya.